in the fight right before the last, they still did manage to hold that last fight, crucially hitting a very large shatter onto Zim, I think, which stopped him from being able to flux as they moved through the choke point, which probably would have gotten more, whereas the flux he had to use, he felt he was forced to, only picked up the tanks, and because the Moira had the coalescence and the healing to support it, really just did not end up in any kills or anything meaningful, and that was really the ult they had to use. But even still, we have heroics coming up from the players I was just talking about in the previous round, like Celery Man and Blue Wolf, who are picking up the kills necessary to pull them out of that deficit. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get into our next map, as we see what's going to come out, as you may or may not know, the losing team gets to pick the next map. We have the map type, which is going to be our escort map between Dorado, Havana, and Gibraltar, and it looks like Odyssey have picked Gibraltar. So what are we thinking for Gibraltar? Very interesting team comps that can come out on both sides throughout the 3 points.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, Gibraltar, everybody knows, is a very, very dive-centric map. The high ground, especially on the first 2 points, super imperative. If you can't control that, your Ashe or your Widowmaker or even like something like a Soldier or McCree is going to have no control over the high ground. Their counterpart is just going to dominate them. So I think, especially because our last map was so specialized and centered on double shield, it appeared that we're going to see in this next map which of the teams has a better dive composition, because if you're playing double shield on Watchpoint Gibraltar while the other team is playing dive, like I said, you're going to have no high ground control, and the other team is just going to be able to freely dominate the space around the payload, which is often just as important as pushing the payload to the destination itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Dive comp is so dominant on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Just with how much high ground that there is, and double shield, it's one fatal flaw, it's Achilles' heel, if you will, is that dive comp. It is a comp that is very, very accustomed to just sitting on a point and, bunkering down. So having that dive comp and having those characters that come in and just, their point is to instantly focus down one player and just delete them, even through shields with something like Winston's Tesla cannon or Wrecking Ball's pile driver. Very, very important and very, very dangerous and very deadly for a bunker comp. So we're going to see coming out here what we are going to have.
1 second here. As it looks like the stream has died. So 1 moment. We are going to be right back here on Watchpoint Gibraltar after a short break. As I might have been mistaken, actually, I was seeing messages in Twitch that the stream was dead, but I apparently was mistaken, and we're going to keep going. Sorry, that was my mistake there. We're going to keep going here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We're obviously going to start off with the defensive team, starting with, as I talked about, that dive.
Yeah.
Genji Sombra is pretty interesting.
However, I think we're just waiting on the pause here, waiting for the mod to bit. There we go. There's the pause. So we are just going to wait a little bit for the stream issues that we're having to clear up. I don't even know if anyone's hearing this. If they are, hello. If not,
a little bit of light, a little bit of gold. Under pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. With We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder.
Sorry about that, everyone. It just turned out that there was a bit of a misunderstanding between us casters and the producer there. But we are, like I said, going to be coming at it with a dive defense. On a brig supports is pretty interesting.
Yeah, so because we did miss a little bit of that last round, Talon Redshirts did end up clutching that first map. And we're getting into our second map, which is Watchpoint Gibraltar, and we're really excited to see some sort of
that's
coming in under
massive pick.
Yeah, Salaryman getting the pick onto that Sombra, onto I'm always bad at that pronunciation, but getting that pick onto Hellfiber, just very, very important, very, very influential there. Very, very important to that Sombra who can harass your backline, harass your Mercy, and going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next. Hellfiber again getting picked off by the Genji, and this dive here, the double shield getting set up on this bridge, very interesting here. And Salaryman again getting a lot of crucial picks onto very crucial members of Odyssey there, onto Sparkles and onto Hellfiber.
Definitely something. The Sombra pickup early in both fights is super brutal because when you look at the opposing team, they're 60, 70, even 80% to their next ults, whereas he's less than halfway to his EMP, and EMP is really the reason you're picking Sombra. So it's really brutal getting picked so early when your almost entire job is to build up to that important ultimate.
Yeah, that was a very snowballing fight there, as Mist does find Blue Wolf but gets his life for it, so the DPS are traded out, and Salaryman just on this high ground. Honestly, Odyssey needs to find a way to contest Salaryman and to push him off of this high ground at least, or find a way to get him away from their squishies at this point, because he has been absolutely terrorizing them. Anyone with 200 HP has just been in his crosshairs and been murdered so fast. And Mist finds Blue Wolf again, very nice for it. The Nano coming in onto the Winston, is going to dive in onto the Baptiste. Salaryman does find the pick onto Mist, but multiple picks coming in on the side of Odyssey. Salaryman is taken down by Zim there. Very good. That's what I was talking about. Working on is taking down Salaryman and stopping his reign of terror, and that is what they have done. They've pushed him off the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, something somewhat neglected there is that Hellfiber does make the switch from the Sombra onto the Tracer, which is pretty interesting. You're sacrificing that first point's worth of ult charge, but he does already have a pulse bomb just because Tracer builds it up so quickly. But really great coordination coming out from Odyssey there. They get the initial pick, and then instantly Winston is nanoed. The rest of the team immediately dives in. Very, very nice play coming out from Odyssey.
Absolutely. Coordination is tantamount to playing dive, and if you are not coordinated while you're playing dive, you should not be playing dive. And we see the blade coming out from Blue Wolf is going to find the pick up onto Rip and Pip, and that's very, very important. Both supports for Odyssey are down, but the blade is going to come out from Mist. 1 HP basically, but Blue Wolf is going to find the pick up there. And Talon Redshirts are going to stabilize here. The bomb is going to come in for Winterhaven. I'm not sure if that was a bomb just to remech or if it was actually an offensive, but it does not catch anyone regardless. Josebird finds the pickup onto Winterhaven as well as the mech.
Honestly, I'm looking a bit strangely at both the off-tanks there. Both of them decided to use their ultimates there after the fight looked like it was over and done with. Even as, however, Odyssey looked like they're stabilizing here. Hellfiber picking up 2 instant kills to make that 3. Sparkle's also with 2. And they are going to begin to stabilize. But I think, more importantly here, the Talon Redshirts here have to wonder if that fight might have gone differently had Idle Health saved the Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, absolutely, but the payload is very, very close to this second point, and 2 minutes for Talon Redshirts to push it just a little bit. They just need that one team fight win, but a lot of ultimates on the side of Odyssey right now. They're coming up on a lot of ults. They have the Nano, and they're close to 3 more ultimates. So Winston probably going to get his ult off of this Nano. As I say that, the High Noon from Cellarman is going to come in. Diva is going to use the defense matrix to try and defend against it, but it does find the pickup on, does demech Winterhaven there. And this bunker comp just moving slowly and methodically. That is its strength there, and a big, huge anti-nade coming in from Rip and Pippin, but is going to be taken down by Cellarman. But as I say that, Mist finds 2, Sparkles finds 1, and Winterhaven taking out Cellarman with the remech, and also taking out Link just for fun.
I mean, looking at the beginning of the fight, things really did not look good for Odyssey. Both members of the tank line essentially falling. But we see the Nanoblade come out, the Rally come out, and the Squishy, the DPS and the backline for this team do manage to somehow stabilize and fight back Talon Redshirts. And if I'm Talon Redshirts there, I'm really smarting from that. I mean, that looked like a fight you were destined to win, but you still managed to fall to the Nanoblade.
Yeah, speaking of a fight that looks like you're destined to win, so many ultimates on the side of Talon Redshirts. Blue Wolf gonna find a pickup on a Rip and Pippin, but is going to give his life for it. Very crucial takedown onto the Ana. They're not going to charge that Nano, but Sparkles, she's very low here. Looks like she's going to recover here, but up to the remaining members of Odyssey to try and contest this cart here. The amplification matrix is going to have to come in to clean up here, but Idle Hell is going to find 2 picks with the Gridic Flux. The High Noon will find Mist as well, and Link will find the remaining pickup. Halfiber is going to use the Pulse Bomb to try and get anything done, but it is not going to find anything, and that is a Pulse Bomb that he will not have for this next fight.
I mean, if I'm Halfiber, I'm not too chuffed to use Pulse Bomb there. I mean, it's an ultimate ability you can pretty much use off cooldown. And I mean, a lot of the credit for that fight has to go to Idle Hell. Even if he used that Gravitic Flux perhaps carelessly before, he used it to massive effect there, picking up 4 players on the side of Odyssey and killing 2 of them with the immediate smackdown, and then 2 later with the following damage. So really a massive value ultimate from them. And as I say that, the dive is going to initiate from Odyssey.
Yeah, the dive coming in from Odyssey forces out the Nanoblade from on Mist. Finds Link as well as the Immortality Field, but Rip and Pippin is going to go down. Mist is going to find another, but the team for Talon Redshirts is a little split up here. The Sigma very, very far from the rest of his team. He's going to find his way back, but just in time for Mist to slash and dash right into him. And Blue Wolf going to get taken down as well. That is brutal for Talon Redshirts. Pushed right back into spawn. 17 seconds left for them to try and get anything together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just using Nanoblade there, it pretty much guarantees the fight unless a really heroic play comes out from the Talon Redshirts, and they're going to re-engage here, popping, I believe, the Rally on the side of Odyssey.
Yep. Although just gets deleted though. Link taking him down so fast. Blue Wolf, that blade is going to take down, and Blue
massive bomb.
Take down 3 with the bomb. That is just amazing, and that might just be the point. Mist going to take down 1 with the slash, and is going to take down 1 with the blade, and that is going to be the round. 59.3 meters for Talon Redshirts. And Odyssey, they have their mark. They know where they need to get to win this round. This map, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, stalling the payload there. I mean, if I'm the Talon Redshirts, I'm not too mad about that. You almost get it around the corner. You're pretty much guaranteeing you're going to get 2 contests for this 3rd point if you're quick. And it's a pretty good push. Given the first point rolling that that Odyssey endured, I have to be pretty happy with their rallying. They managed to hold 2nd point for such a long time there, even going towards overtime, and it's only because of heroics from players like Idle and Celeryman that the Talon Redshirts managed to push their way through the second point. And even though they get stalled in the third point, I think that that push is still more than adequate in order to have a chance at winning this map.
Absolutely, and I think that also the X factor here comes in with the Genjis. Genji in the recent patch was nerfed pretty severely, but his blade is still a very, very deadly force, and a force to be reckoned with still. Blade hasn't been touched, it's just the primary and secondary fire, so blade, very dangerous tool. Hanzo is going to, for the side Talon Redshirts, is going to try and scout out what Odyssey is planning with their attack here, and they do have the dive coming in with the Winston Diva Winterhaven. Oh, Zin's gonna go a little low, so he's gonna have to drop down and get some healing from his two healers.
Definitely, and I mean, looking here, that's just a pretty standard engage. One thing to pay notice to is that the Orisa from the top side of the Talon Redshirts did get caught out there and had his Fortify first forced a little early, but isn't able to, the side of Odyssey rather, isn't able to capitalize. And even as I say that, they managed to kill Zim, but then the DPS line managed to get 2 picks of their own.
Absolutely, getting that pick off on the Link, something I've been saying all night, that Baptiste, so influential, that immortality field, the healing that he can provide is just absolute, and Hellfire finding 2 onto Blue Wolf and Jostbird, incredibly important there, and it is going to be very tough for Talon Redshirts to get the contestant here, and 5 minutes on the clock, 5.5 minutes on the clock for Talon, for Odyssey here, and they do have one of their players there, their Brigitte far spawned, and they're going to get absolutely rolled over. The people that were spawned at their point A spawn are going to get absolutely demolished while they're down 1 support there, and that is another 1 fight for Odyssey, and that is another very important feature of Overwatch, is this snowball that can happen on these escort maps and on a bunch of different maps.
Definitely the start Odyssey is looking for there, especially with how their first point defense went. I mean, you have to consider, even if you lose 2 fights or get completely rolled first point, you kind of want to be touching the cart, because at least then you're stalling it. But because it isn't, they're gonna have just a massive gargantuan time bank, and oh no, this just looks brutal.
Oh, Zim just comes in onto this entire group of Talon Redshirts and just knocks them away from their amplification matrix. The bomb is going to come in, does not find anyone, but Celeryman is going to find 2, one with a bob and one with a melee, and one with the dynamite. It just seems like that Celeryman using all of Ash's toolkit, the Nanoblade coming in on the side of Odyssey. Mist is going to find 1, and that looks like it is going to be the point for Odyssey. And just an amazing, amazing performance here. Sparkles finding a handful of picks right at the end there. Very good job by her. And again, these early spawns are going to get absolutely demolished, and that is very unfortunate, but they are going to be safe. Very lucky for them.
And yeah, going into this third point again with a massive time bank, and I really have to attribute that a lot to the backline of the Odyssey, because Sparkles and Rip and Pippin just able to stay alive there allows them to build up the nano boost and later nano the Genji into the nano blade, and the rally on cart just gives them enough sustain so that they can still bring a second point home even without their front line.
Absolutely, and as we've been talking, they just pushed up so far, and it's going to be really hard for Talon Redshirts to even touch the cart. They're going to have to be almost unfetteringly aggressive there. Blue Wolf is going to find the pickoff onto Sparkles, but still, there is a lot of work to do. Celeryman going to use the bob, but Zim is going to find the pickoff with his Primal Rage. He picks coming in on the side of Talon Redshirts, and it looks like that will be the fight win for the Talon Redshirts. They are going to stabilize, but the cart is just 1.5 meters away from the destination that it needs to get for Odyssey to win this map. And we have 4 minutes on the side of Odyssey. That is incredible.
Yeah, definitely so much time left for Odyssey here. And as I say that, a massive pickoff. You don't want your Ashe going down that early. That's a lot of your damage.
Especially if it's Celeryman. Celeryman has just been such a dominant force. They don't touch.
And that's a C9!
Absolutely. No, Talon, not like that. Oh,
That's
was
an
brutal.
awful way to go down. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're the Talon Redshirts there, you have to be so sad. I mean, you go that far, you roll them first point, and then that happens. They just never really got a chance to get back on their feet. The side of the Odyssey just so good at pushing their advantage and keeping Talon Redshirts from getting back on their feet, from stabilizing after that first push. We saw even as they went into second point, they were just prevented from stabilizing. Their respawns immediately got killed because they got forward spawn, and then that means they only got one fight for second point. It was at the very end, and once they won that, they got the forward spawns again. The ultimate economy just so one-sided, and then really, what can you do if you're the Talon Redshirts? They managed to use many ults and stabilize at the very end, but in reality, they were just prolonging the inevitable because Odyssey just had all the ults they didn't use the previous fight, and they just returned, used them, and won.
Absolutely. That was such a good performance, and I have to point out, missed just a little bit of statistics there. 61% kill participation. That is insane. From Mist coming out there, just insane from him, and just incredible. And we are going to go to a halftime now, but when we come back, we are going to see who's going to pull out, because we are at 1-1 here, one for Odyssey, one for Talon Redshirts. We're going to see what is coming up in our next map, and we are going to see what this game has in store for us. I'm excited. I think it's going to be pretty good. We'll see you then.
Definitely a closer game than last time. And yeah, like you said, we're going to be seeing you on our next map after this halftime break. It's going to be about 5 minutes. You can return after then. In the meantime, don't leave. Get yourself a drink. Maybe go use the bathroom. We're going to be back in a jiffy.
Yep.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky. Where am Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Tape my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell.